Springboks and All Blacks will renew their rivalry for the 102nd time at the Mbombela Stadium this afternoon. Kickoff time is in fact just a few minutes away. It's going to be at 5:05. Now, the clash is a massive encounter in the rugby calendar. Despite New Zealand's recent form, the All Blacks recently lost a home series to Ireland, while the world champions narrowly saw off Wales during the July internationals. My colleague and NCA reporter Percivale Young is at the stadium and he joins us now for a quick chat. Percy, thank you so much for making the time in all of that noise, but it's not noise like I was saying to Tulas. It's a lot of excitement that I'm hearing in my ears. So the All Blacks lost their series to Ireland. Firstly, it was the first time they lost against Ireland, and also they lost a test series at home for the very first time since 1994. So whilst they are professionals, and you put these things in the back of your mind, it's a huge disappointment. Do you think that they are in the right frame of mind heading into the match today?
Yes, good afternoon, Nicole. Nicole, I can tell you before I answer that question, the excitement is building here at the Mbombela Stadium ahead of that big clash you just mentioned between the Springboks and the All Blacks. The first of two test matches in a series of two matches. The first in the Rugby Championship here in 2022. Now, I can show you just briefly, the fans are slowly trickling in. They're getting themselves some cold ones here ahead of that big clash here at the Mbombela Stadium. 43,000 fans expected at the venue today. It's a massive clash for both teams because the Springboks are hoping to prove a point against this All Black side. They haven't beaten the All Blacks in the last 8 years, whilst you rightfully mentioned the All Blacks are under pressure. They've lost that series against Ireland 2-1 on home soil, and they're now hoping to prove a point against the world champions here on South African soil. Now, Nicole, you mentioned Vatan Ngubene. I'm fortunate to be joined by the ENCA sports editor, Vatan Ngubene, to help me work out and decipher what exactly is needed from this Springbok side. Vatan, you've been here this past week with me. We've attended press conferences. You've heard what the two camps said. What is needed from this Springbok side to put one over this All Black side, a wounded All Black side?
They've got to be better without a shadow of a doubt. We saw them against Wales the first test. They were not convincing, lost the second test, but they came out in the third test and played like the world champions that they are. But Siya Kolisi did say yesterday that they've got to be better than that. Because any chance to give the All Blacks, they'll come back. And again, people speak about the All Blacks having lost a series, to Ireland, and that they're wounded. They've had turmoil within the coaching staff, changed coaches and so on. However, an All Black team remains an All Black team. And Sia spoke about the fact that they were here a few years ago as well, in the same position as them, had lost a number of games, prior to going over to New Zealand. and teams target New Zealand or South Africa, and the All Blacks will be targeting, the Springboks, because they are desperate and they want to come back. They've got the players without a shadow of a doubt. I think it's just making sure that they implement their plan, and what better foe, for the All Blacks to come back up again. But then again, for the Springboks, what better foe to make sure that they continue from those June series win against Wales. And obviously it's a year out to the World Cup now. So again, personally, every team is trying to run the skills. Every team is building because we all know within 12 months from now, everyone will be in France, and the Springboks will be looking at defending the world title.
It might sound like a cliche that a wounded All Black side is a dangerous All Black side. And assistant coach, Springbok coach Mzwandile Stick, he said it so nicely yesterday that the Springboks can't afford to take their focus for one second away from this match. Otherwise, the All Blacks will punish them.
No, without a shadow of a doubt. I think you look at the encounters between these two teams over the years, they've been 3, 4, 5 pointers. And more than anything, this All Black team, they just know how to play against the Springboks in South Africa. It's been 8 years since last the Springboks beat the All Blacks in South African soil. So to them, as much as they're playing away from home, they feel very, very comfortable in these conditions. And again, the Springboks make them lift their game, and more than anything, this All Black team with their backs against the wall, and you spoke about them being wounded, are probably the most dangerous All Black team you can actually face.
But I'm going to have to wrap it up. But briefly, 43,000 fans expected. The biggest part of those fans are South Africans fans. And you know how demanding our Springbok fans are. Jacques Nienaber was very careful, very diplomatic in the build-up to this match, saying they can't focus too much on the opponents. They have to focus on themselves. Him making 3 changes to his side. One significant change is Malcolm Marx playing in his 50th test match. What do you make of the changes in the side, especially Faf coming in at the scrum off and Curtly Arends on wing?
I think one of his strongest teams, Bongi Mbonambi and Malcolm Marx are like for like, and well done to Malcolm Marx on achieving the 50 caps. And he's going to need that physicality. You're going to have to bring it on. But more than bringing back a Faf who's technically sound, well experienced, has played the All Blacks on several occasions, and then this is a moment for Curtly Arends to shine. We know the likes of your Cheers and Colbys, when they got the opportunity against the All Blacks, we saw what they did. And Curtly Arends is in the same mold as the Cheers and Colbys, so this is his moment, and I've got no doubt in my mind that he will step up, because players like him live up for moments like these. I think more importantly, Percy, for Jacques Nienaber and the Springboks, they need to set a marker today. And that marker, they must take it on to Ellis Park and make sure that for the entire Rugby Championship, they are the #1 team. And again, this affects the world rankings as well. So the Springboks, by the end of the championship, could be back at #1 in the world. So when they go on end of year tour, the world will know that the Springboks are not just going to go away. They're not going to let go of the world title that easily.
Bata, thank you so much for your time. Nicole, I'm not sure if you can hear, but the excitement is building ahead of that match. We are less than 10 minutes away from the kickoff. It is Jacques Nienaber against his opponent, Ian Foster. It is Sia Kolisi against Sam Cane. It's a massive clash. It's the first of 2 test matches between the Springboks and the All Blacks here on South African soil. The first one starting here at the Mbombela Stadium. Kickoff is set at around about 5:05 this afternoon.
Thank you so much for that, Percy. And yes, I can definitely hear there were actually people singing in the stadium, and it just shows you, regardless of whether you are at Loftus or at DHL or in Bloemfontein, wherever you are, South African fans definitely love the Springboks. And as you guys said, it has been 8 years since the Springboks have won against the All Blacks at home, and hopefully today is going to be their lucky charm.